Hi everyone, my name's Charlie and I've helped over 150 people win their PIP claims, and that's people that book me via my consultancy. That doesn't include the thousands of you that have used the free guides that I've got on YouTube and the templates. You were right. Loads of you contacted me and said, can I help you with universal credit work capability? And initially I was like, no. I help people with PIP. My speciality is chronic illness. I've actually helped, I think it's 3 or 4 people now. And those of you that contacted me, you were right. They are interlinked. So I just want to quickly in this video go through and show you how they are interlinked. Then after this video, I've got a guide coming out on UC work capability, linking to PIP, and with examples in it like my PIP guides. Now, I do understand like the lighting is crap. I'm really sorry. I'm actually filming in bed. But I'm going to make myself small because the important stuff is what I'm going to show you. And I promise the value of this video where you see that interlinked, you aren't going to care what I look like or the fact that I'm sat in bed with really poor lighting. And I can't wait to film this. Now that I've done the comparison, I'm desperate to film this video to show you it. I think the best way for me to do this is if we go through the PIP points. So we'll start in the order I always start, where I do preparing food. We'll start with the PIP points, then I will link to the sections of universal credit work capability that links to PIP. I'll show you what I mean. This is the points for preparing food in the PIP assessment. So what part of universal credit links to this part of PIP? So in physical functions, the moving around, I would say links to preparing food because of if you need to use an aid, if you need to sit because you struggle to stand for too long, that interlinks. Standing and sitting. So again, in preparing food, if you need to sit because standing is painful for you, this interlinks. This is an important one, reaching, being able to move things. Now, this is more about reaching your arms above your head, but I would still say, if I was the DWP, I would check this as well. Picking things up and moving things. That's the challenge with preparing food, isn't it? We've got to go to the fridge, we've got to get it to the microwave. Then it's going to be hot, it's dangerous, then we've got to carry it, then we've got to move it. These interlink. Using your hands. So I understand you see work capabilities, are you fit for work? But I love some of these questions because I work with many clients aren't able to peel back the film on a microwave meal. Well, this is, look, can you pick up a £1 coin? Can you turn the pages of a book? Interlinks. Learning how to do tasks. Now, this one I've put in for our neurodivergent warriors because when it comes to preparing food, let me just show you the points again. I think I'm blocking it. The needs supervision, this is 4 points. So quite a few people that struggle to learn to do tasks for our autistic warriors fit into this category as well. It interlinks. Really important, awareness of hazards of danger. Again, this is for our neurodivergent warriors, where they're not able to sense danger. And to be honest, some of us that are in pain with fatigue when the brain fog kicks in, like me, I'm not safe cooking because for some reason I just can't tell if it's dangerous. Like when I decline during the day, first thing in the morning I'm better, but decline during the day I just forget. It's really bad. And finally, starting and finishing tasks. So I was in tribunal once with someone, and the judge and the doctor kept asking things like, are you able to set an alarm on your phone? If you're able to set an alarm on your phone, then you're able to time something, so you're able to cook something, was their angle. So I think that interlinks as well. Now, what I love about this is I do get a lot of haters that are like, you're setting it up so people that can lie. And that's not my job to control, to do the fraud checks and to police it. That's DWP's job. But what I love about this is everyone I work with, we're honest. We're honest. If we can do something, we say we can do it. And we only want to be treated fairly. I had no idea how interlinked they were. So obviously they can check, they can do the cross checks, and people that lie will get caught up. It's really hard to be consistent when you're lying. For those of you that are being honest, that are applying for this funding, I love how interlinked they are, but I want you to be aware of it. I want you to be aware of it because, when you've got brain fog and we're hopeful, we don't want to be like this, we don't want to be a burden. Being self-aware is a big problem. I spend a lot of time working with people because it becomes your norm. You're not putting it in writing to actually how your daily life is. You need to be really careful because if you're putting on one form, I struggle to do this, but then you're having a better day and you're like, no, I could do it, and they don't match, you've got a problem. So I do think those of you that contacted me, you're absolutely right, because it's so interlinked. And now I've seen this, I have helped some of my current clients with UC because I just knew that they wouldn't fill it out as clearly as what they need to. The other thing I want to say is I do think you have to remember that people that book me don't have a boo-boo. No one books me if they've got a sore elbow. People come to me when they're fairly desperate and massively impacted by their chronic illness. Once you get PIP, this is what I think is also great. I'm sorry, no, I've got so much I want to talk to you about because I'm so excited about this because I really think, again, you're right to contact me and this is going to help. When I've had clients that have got PIP, enhanced PIP, and then they've done UC work capability, it's been a very simple process. Because, to word it nicely, because of how fucked they are, because of how severe their chronic illness is, their UC work capability assessments have been very brief. And the UC people know that if you've got enhanced in PIP, it's such a horrendous process. You need to be so clear on evidence. We get questioned probably less than what criminals do. That if we've got that award, we've got it for good reason. So even though they question us, we're so severe that we don't even meet the criteria in UC work capability. So I think it helps to get your PIP. It helps to get PIP first. You could do it at the same time, but am I making myself, I don't know if I'm making myself clear because I'm a bit overexcited. So I might have to refilm this after to see what it's like. But, and again, if you've watched my videos and you've prepared for a PIP assessment and done your PIP assessment, work capabilities, they're so much nicer. It's so much nicer. It is like a very, very mild PIP assessment. Very mild. Okay. Now, I do not get work capability. The only funding I get is PIP. So I haven't been through this myself, but I have helped only 3 or 4 people do this. Okay. So my experience is very, very limited at this moment in time. Okay. Right. Let's get on to the other variances. It's bothering me that we can see the lamp in my glasses. And I know you're like, Charlie, just shut up and get on with it. Okay, I'll shut up and get on with it. Sorry. Okay, so taking nutrition, which is eating. This is the PIP scoring system. Let's look at the comparison. Let's look at what interlinks. Let's look at the interlinks. Using your hands for the cutlery, being able to cut food, definitely interlinks. Then there is a section on eating and drinking. Theirs is obviously really, really brief. Right, managing therapy. This is how long does someone or people spend assisting, supporting you, prompting you. Most people screw this one up. So if you're new to seeing anything about me, watch the guides I've got on this. So how does this interlink with UC? Using your hands. Think about it. Popping our pills, putting our pills into our pill pots. Really important. Starting and finishing tasks. Trying to remember to take the medication. And, having people prompt us, constantly put the pills in there in front of us, give us a drink to do it. Definitely interlinks. Okay, these are the PIP points. PIP and ADP. I say PIP because I'm in England. ADP is what it's called in Scotland. PIP is England and Wales. I'll just call it PIP fees. So these are the points for PIP. Let's see how it interlinks. So standing and sitting. Now, this one I've put because some of us are having to sit on seats in the shower and bath, or have assistance to get in and out of the shower and bath to then sit in it. So I don't think they're doing massive check on this one, but I still think it's interlinked. Reaching your arms up. Right, look at this. Look at D, being able to wash your hair, being able to wash your upper body is interlinked. This one, the starting and finishing tasks. In my head, this interlinks because look, prompting. This is like major ADHD people, those of you with depression, where you're struggling to get going and someone's having to prompt or encourage you. This starting and finishing, I think, interlinks with probably about 10 of the PIP areas, okay? So these are the PIP ADP points for toileting. Now, obviously, PIP go into massive about if you have assistance with your incontinence. Work capability is not going to be that detailed. This is where they interlink. So sitting and standing, if you're using an aid or pulling something, like holding onto the radiator, something, etc., to get up off the toilet, that's a challenge. Interlinks with this bit here. And then they do have a section on bowels and bladder. So bowels, poo, bladder, wee. So for example, those of you that are having assistance with incontinence, where someone is literally having to help you when you're incontinent, like 1 to 3 times plus a week, you need to be really blunt about this in there. Actually, I'm not going to go into it because that's what the guide's for, okay? So these are the PIP ADP points for dressing and undressing. How does it interlink? Again, for me, it's the sitting and standing, because that says a lot about someone when it comes to all tasks. Massively on the reaching. Just look at this. Remember in this one, it's got upper body. So if we're trying to reach to put your arms in your tops, doesn't matter if we're wearing oversized clothes, getting our arms up is a problem. And reaching, socks are evil. Remember, socks are evil. And the starting and finishing tasks, again, about the prompting. I might have forgotten on some of these to do that starting and finishing tasks. Okay, I'm not sure if I put that on all of the right ones. So remember that one, that it interlinks. So these are the points for PIP and ADP on communication. But not many people get these points, okay? Mainly are autistic warriors, severe anxiety, people that have had a severe stroke, etc. How does it interlink? So they've got their own section on communication. And I feel like the same as PIP, where, you know, if you've seen any of my guides on PIP and ADP, I don't like to waste my time on this. Most people do not get the points. So they've got a little bit here and they've got a little bit here, which is the hearing and reading. So this is the points in PIP and ADP on reading and understanding. So this is mainly for people diagnosed with dyslexia, and for our dyslexic warriors and for our autistic warriors. It's kind of the same as the communicating one. So they've got the writing and typing, and then hearing and reading. It's pretty much those two areas for the communication and reading. They've sort of merged the two. Engaging with people face to face or mixing with others. This is what I consider a big points one for a lot of people in PIP and ADP. So let's see how it interlinks. I haven't actually worked with many people that experience the fainting and losing consciousness when awake. But I would, for those of you that do, this massively impacts your confidence when mixing with strangers. So this, I would say, interlinks. Now, in my head, this is an interlink, coping with change. Those of you that, if you're out and then something goes wrong, like the bus is late, the train's late, someone gets in the way, someone talks to you, there's a diversion, and that's it. It results in potential meltdown for you. It totally wobbles you. I would say this absolutely interlinks with mixing with people. Obviously, this one is coping with social situations. But I'm hoping that as you're watching this, you're realising that it's not just as straightforward as this is the only one that links with mixing with people, because it's so obvious that it interlinks. It's not. It's like in PIP and ADP, the way they'll assess you, which you can see in my PIP trickery stuff, is they will merge areas to get the answer on things. So it's not just number 16 that links with engaging with others, mixing with people face to face, okay? This one is a big one with mixing with people face to face, engaging with others. Absolutely. really important, and obviously important from an employment point of view. And this is the last one in the daily living section of PIP and ADP, budgeting. So this is basically money. Do you understand what money is? Are you able to use it? So I don't know whether this is because I'm inexperienced with UC work capability, because in my head, this is the one that links with that. And I've said this one because of the prompting, because of B prompting. That's the only one in my head that I could really see that linked with this one. Now we're into moving around in PIP and ADP. So this is planning and following a journey, which doesn't mean walking. This involves mental health as well. So these are the points. Let's see how it interlinks. So getting around safely, this is linked to your vision. Obviously, this is important if you can actually see. And in the PIP ADP, it's got, an orientation aid. So for anyone that's partially sighted or blind. I didn't actually put this on my notes, but I would say when I have clients that have severe incontinence, and when I say severe, it could happen at any time, especially if it's bowel incontinence, that it impacts going out, whether you go out on your own or not. So I would say this does interlink as well. For those of you that are at risk of fainting or lose consciousness when you're awake, absolutely interlinks with the planning and following a journey on PIP. This bit is again for more the warriors that are autistic and aren't aware of danger, because in PIP it shows if you don't go anywhere on your own, or if you don't go anywhere unfamiliar on your own. So absolutely this bit interlinks if people are not aware of danger. Changes, coping with changes. There are so many of you that can't go out on your own, and even if you are with someone, if there's roadworks or a diversion, that's it, you've got to go back home again. Or if you do go out on your own, but if there's roadworks or a diversion, so for example you're driving, that means that that's it. No, you can't do it, you've got to turn around and go home. That's it. So absolutely this interlinks. Then we've got the actual going out section that, obviously going out and planning a journey is the same thing in my head. So the last one, moving around. Here's the points from PIP and ADP. So obviously moving around and using steps. Now, this is the main one that I've said about the interlinks here. And I'm going to give you an example why you need to watch the guide that I've got coming out after this. Look, it starts at 50 meters, but look at PIP. PIP starts at 1 meter, right? So a lot of people that I work with are in the 10 to 12 points category. They're just amazingly, quite a few of those people are actually still working. But to be able to get to work, if you're in the category where you're 12 points, so you can't move 1 meter without severe pain and fatigue or assistance, then look, you see work capability. They're not even expecting you to be in a position where you're trying to go to work. But obviously you still need to do this if you're applying for it. So you would need to use this section to be really clear. If this helps, can you let me know in the comments? Because if it does, should I do this for DLA or ESA? Let me know. I don't want to get into all benefits, but I am a specialist of chronic illness. So you let me know, because again, it was you that informed me about this.